Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about racing for progress and purpose and roads, and something that one side of the political spectrum is much better at. We're going to do this because I got a message from somebody. And this person has a hobby, they have a skill, and it gives them an in with, well, it gives them an in with people that are predominantly on the right. And they're not. They're on the left. This skill is cars. They're a car guy. Race, go to meets, all of that stuff. And the person wants to use that in to help move people, to help bring people over, get them out of the right into a more progressive place. And they say, I love modifying cars, racing, going to meets, etc. But as a left-leaning individual, I feel somewhat alone in the car scene. And it goes through and talks about how they're worried about being labeled a hypocrite. You know, how can they claim to be for saving the environment when they drive something that gets 12.4 miles to the gallon? That's really specific. And it talks about how the other ways they've tried to lower their carbon footprint and all of that stuff. But their concern is basically being called a hypocrite because of this one thing that they do, but this one thing that they do also gives them an in. What do I think? Don't think about it in terms of what other people might say about it. Think about it in terms of purpose. Your goal, setting out, is to use the car scene to get people to a better place. That's your goal. You're going to have to remember that because you're right. You're going to take heat for it, especially if you get on social media. You're going to take heat for it because the right in the United States is way better at something than the left. And that's building a road. If you are in the center in the U.S., there is an established road to get you to the far right. And those on the far right, well, they generally don't take swings at those that are moderately right or just a little right. Happens every once in a while, like rhino type stuff, but generally that doesn't occur. On the left spends a lot of time critiquing each other because it is more thought-based. It is more intellectual than fear-based. So that happens. One of the byproducts of this is that road that exists to get from center, or in this case, to get from the right to a more progressive place, it's got gaps in it. Because people are very concerned about having the correct take on everything. And being correct on everything, because we are taught all of these struggles are interrelated. And they are. And they are. But my question is it worth a tank of gas to get somebody away from a bigoted ideology? Yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely. And that's the way you have to look at it. You're going to take heat, but it's not going to be from the right. It'll be from the left. And you're just going to have to remember your purpose when that happens. And eventually, something that will happen will be somebody who you set on that road, moving to a more progressive place, they are going to outgrow you. They'll see you as to their right because you race cars. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. If that is your in, if that's your way that you can help shift thought, use it. Use it. Yeah, you will take heat for it. 100%, I'm certain. But it's probably worth it as long as you can remember your purpose is to use that end that you have to shift thought. Yeah, it's not ideal, but let's be honest. You're already racing. You're already burning that gas, right? It's already happened. 12.4 miles to the gallon, right? That's pretty specific. I don't think you just pulled that number out of the air. That's really what your vehicle gets. You're already doing the part that's harmful. Do the part that's helpful at the same time. It seems like it should be an easy thing. If you have that in, use it. And I would. You mentioned in there about like finding other left-leaning people who are in the same scene. I'm sure they exist. And if y'all got together and you made it known that that was your unifying thing, it would get good attention within that community, as long as you win. I think it's a great idea. There are a lot of little pockets of people that are just left. They're just left out. There is no road established to get them to a more progressive place. If you can help build that, yeah, do it. 100%. It's one of those things that the left has real problems with. You know, everybody wants to be correct about everything because it is more intellectual. It is more utopian. It's about finding the right combination of things so everybody gets a fair shake. We get that deep systemic change and everything runs as close to perfect as possible. What you're talking about, it's not the intellectual pursuit. It's the activism side of it. An activist can't be a perfectionist. They have to be a realist. You have a tool, use it. Use it. It's that simple. You know, people love to adopt the language of we're at war with this or we're at war with that. In war, you use whatever tools you have at your disposal. You have been given one. If you think that you can use that to shift thought, you kind of have an obligation to do it. And when you get people who will undoubtedly call you hypocritical, take it. Just, okay, you're right. But if that road is built, you can't abandon it. You have to get as many people down that road as you can. So I think it's a great idea. I do. I think that it's a method of reaching people who will not be reached another way. Do it. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.